What is up, hobby fans in the Ring Army? My name is Nized, or Anthony, and welcome back to another video. We are back into Poppy Playtime, and I'm bringing you all a very special podcast episode. You'll want to listen to it till the very end. You might learn some new facts and details. Very quickly, I just want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday on the 26th. It meant the world to me, and you guys made the day even better. So you all are very amazing, and I can't thank you guys enough. Now, I had a fun talk with Amber, or Amber Loves Bugs. She is one of the lead animators of the Smiling Critters cartoon, and she is also one of the main artists over at Mob Entertainment, and she is also the one who drew this beautiful art piece for this podcast. Huge thank you, Amber, again. I love it so much. Make sure to support her work. I will leave her links down below. And you guys saw that new animated intro. Amazing, right? It was done by my friend Amber Spence 3D. You guys might recognize him for his talented work and great animations. I'll leave his links down below as well. Please support them both. And of course, if you are new here to the channel and are a fan of Poppy Playtime, make sure to click that like button. It will help out the video a lot. And why not subscribe to the channel to not miss any Poppy Playtime news. Thank you all so much. With all that said, enjoy the new episode. So I wanted to start this off by thanking you, Amber. It's always a great time talking to you and a pleasure always having you a part of stuff and having you on. It's a big pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And we are going to be talking about a lot of Poppy stuff today.
Yes.
Hopefully you can answer all these. Okay, so the first question. When you first joined Mob Entertainment last year, what was the first thing you got to work on?
So the first thing that I was tasked with was creating the In the Flowers loading screen for Project Playtime, which is actually a bit of a story because originally it was never meant to be finished. I had sent my concepts over to the lead, and they were not expecting what I gave them, as I had made 3 drafts that were roughly sketched out and colored, while they had wanted only rough thumbnail sketches. And my brain thought thumbnail sketches as rough colored concepts and not what they had in mind. So the concepts were set aside during that time as I tried again in creating 4 quick thumbnail sketches again. But eventually I had posted these 3 unused concepts onto the work server for my other coworkers to see. And after a few days, almost all of my coworkers who were in the office had their desktop background as my rough concept of the In the Flowers one. I was completely shocked about this, and I was not expecting it, to be honest.
It was so good, even in rough sketch form.
Yeah, so after I had finished the revised poster completely, the lead then came back to me and told me during another one of our one-on-one meetings and was like, hey, so most of the in-office people really love that huggy and kissy concept you did a little while back, so we're gonna have you finish that one. Just change the flowers into poppies. And I was like, oh, okay.
You got it.
I was so ecstatic to the point where I literally finished rendering out the entire picture in 2 to 3 days straight.
Oh, man.
I did not get sleep on that point. But thus, that was how my first task came to be and how In the Flowers was produced.
I think that one's the first ever art piece I saw from you. I believe that's
really?
I think that's the first ever one, if I remember correctly.
Oh my gosh.
I think that one next to the one where mommy's looking down with the creepy face.
Oh, arachnophobia. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the second one, but the first one was the In the Flowers.
Yeah. It makes me so happy that a lot of people really liked In the Flowers one, and ironically for me being like the first official thing to create that was Poppy Playtime related. Like, it just absolutely blows me away. Yeah,
it's a really good art piece, and yeah, like if any artists are out there watching, if people use the rough sketch as their wallpaper, you know it's a banger. You know it's a good piece.
That's saying something.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Okay, the second question is, if you had played Project Playtime ever, do you prefer the monster side or the survivor side?
Oh, I used to play Project Playtime a bunch during phases 1 and 2. And to be honest, I don't really have a preference on playing either the monster or the player. Both are very fun to work with, and each has their own pros and cons that are evenly distributed, roughly. Though with being the monster, I love immediately just hiding up into like the tallest rafter areas where it's like really hard to see, and waiting for unsuspecting players to kind of walk by me, and I just immediately get the kill on them. This is especially used with Huggy and Boxy in all of the maps, while Mommy works great in the theater area.
I do that as Mommy most of the time. Just sit there waiting for people to run by, and then just, yeah. In the trailer, it showed someone doing that, so it's like one of her signature moves, just to camp up there on the ceiling and then just jump down.
She's like, I'm waiting for you.
Exactly. I do that, and I just spam climbing onto stuff when I'm chasing someone.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's what I do. But people most of the time just keep spamming jump to give them a little bit more of a boost.
Yeah.
The kind of people doing that.
I do that as well, especially for Mommy Longlegs, because I don't know why. It just seems like she's a bit slower compared to the other toys when getting the grip on the players. And I'm like, I gotta spam the hand mechanic so I can like grapple over and try to get the player.
That's after her web ability got removed, like completely.
Yeah.
She was really broken in phase 1.
Do you have a preference?
Oh, it's more of a 50-50 for me, because before Project, I was a Dead by Daylight player mainly. So I have a lot of experience with ASIMs, and with both sides, I would say I enjoy Monster a little bit more, because, not to call any bad players out there, but like whenever I play Survivor by myself, especially now, I keep getting bad teammates, or teammates that don't know what they're doing, and it's kind of annoying. But with Monster, I just do my thing, and if I get the win, I get the win. But with Survivor, it's like a gamble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my main concern or main complaint about Project at the moment. You just don't get much experienced players. But yeah, I would say maybe Monster's my main side. Boxy being my main, I believe.
Fitting for you.
Fitting. Fitting, I know. But back then, I think it used to be Mommy, but since she's kind of nerfed, or she's nerfed now, I think Boxy just made my main guy. I just like the way his mechanics are.
That's very fair.
Even though every monster needs fixing, or the game itself, there are a lot of tweaks they can do. But I guess we just have to wait if they do ever bring it back.
Bring back Project Playtime.
Exactly. We need it back, please. Please. I have an upcoming video. I'm not sure it will become after or before this video will be published. Me and some partner friends, we got together, and some of us did kind of break out or freak out about us missing Project. I do admit. They were screaming.
Oh.
There were literally breakdowns saying that, oh my god, we need Project back. like, even with the thumbnail, you'll see the thumbnail. The video will make sense.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Okay, so the third question. If you had to change something about CatNap in Chapter 3, what would it be? What abilities or features would you have changed for him? Or is he perfect? Is he perfect boy?
Okay, so I don't have anything that I want to change for him specifically, but in terms of like the layout of the game itself, I have two things that I would have wanted to change and it was the final boss with CatNap and the school portion of the game.
Okay.
So CatNap's boss fight wasn't really a fight, quote unquote, per se. It was more of like a survive or die sort of scenario, which there is nothing wrong with. It's just a bit of a contrast with how the other two chapters were. But I do have to admit, it was a breath of fresh air to see something a little bit more different.
Oh, yeah. And kind of challenging, too.
Yeah. And as for the school area, I feel like there could have been more interaction with Miss Delight, as I've seen a lot of questions asked of, like, what exactly is she? And I have to admit, not even I know the answer to that. Is she a child? Is she an adult? I have no idea. And not to mention her death was a little anticlimactic, but I can't really think of any other changes that could have been a better end for her. But mind you, these are just based on my own personal opinions.
Yeah. I don't think, like, if Miss Delight was never killed, I would have liked to see her maybe come back if she didn't get slammed on the head. But maybe just had the door closed and she just stayed behind it, and maybe she'll make another appearance later on. But yeah, from what we've seen of her in the whole school section, it was a pretty cool moment and challenging. Not anymore. They nerfed her, unfortunately, but but at the first time I played it, she was like more threatening, which I really do appreciate. Yeah. Ma, please revert her back. I missed the old Miss Delight.
I remember whenever I was first playing the game, like at last on my computer, and I got to Mrs. Delight's scene, the amount of times I died. My God. I could not get past through it.
Yeah, I remember our interaction with it. Like, before even chapter 3 came out, we were like theorizing. I believe you were on a call, and we were like saying, if this new character is a weeping angel type of character, I would not be able to make part 2 or part 3. And look at me now. I speed run her almost all the time. Like my lowest is like 1:13. That's like my lowest with her.
Oh my gosh!
She's like my favorite character in that whole section. Is my whole favorite part of the whole chapter.
How ironic.
Yeah. I was so worried about the weeping angel thing, and now I love it.
My, how the tables have turned.
Exactly. But yeah, I would have loved to see more of Mr. Light. I don't know why. They don't make merch or anything with her at all, which is kind of odd, right?
Let me just take note of that real fast.
Yes, there's nothing of Mr. Light. Like, come on. She's one of the main characters. At least sell Barb. I was gonna make one myself, but I just never had the time to do it. I was gonna do like a whole vlog of me going to the stores, picking up the items, and then making it.
Oh my gosh.
I just never got to it. I might do it this summer because my semester ends next week, I believe, so I'll have a lot of free time.
Do it. Do it. For the bit.
I want it. I want to do it. Okay, so the next question is, okay, was DogDay always meant to have his legs torn off? Was that part of the story ever since the beginning?
From what I've known, yes. DogDay was always supposed to have his lower torso gone since the storyboarding the idea of how chapter 3 will go.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason for that?
I am sorry, I don't think I can really say.
I was gonna say, why his legs?
I don't know!
Why his legs? Come on!
I don't know, maybe it was just so that way he can kind of, hang around.
Okay. I also really like the the symbolic thing that you did in the original tape or the cartoon, where he's like sitting down on the couch, and he was doing the same pose. I never noticed that.
Yeah, I've been literally waiting for someone to point that out, and it wasn't until after Chapter 3 was released that someone took note of it, and I'm like, at last! It's been 5 months!
Everyone was looking at the clock, not at DogDay.
Yeah, everyone was so focused on the clock, which is understandable. We did that on purpose. But I was like, whenever I was storyboarding those last moments of the cartoon, I was like, hey, it would be really funny if DogDay had the same pose as he's seen in game. And my coworker Avalon was like, oh my god, yes.
And it sort of worked.
It sort of worked.
Sort of, until after the chapter came out.
Yeah!
It half worked. There you go. Okay, this next question is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Piggy eat all of her friends?
Well, you know how pigs are. They have a tendency to eat anything and everything. That's
true.
All there really is to know.
I never even noticed that too. Like, I saw the cutout in Home Sweet Home of her, but I never pressed it for whatever reason. I just saw
How dare you?
I don't know. I hate myself for that, but I just saw it. I just didn't press it. But like, I didn't know she ate all her friends until I saw like, I think a few TikToks saying, "Oh look, Piggy ate all her friends." And I'm like, since when? Since when? And he's like, "Oh, the cutout I missed. Oh, I didn't press." And then after I saw that TikTok, I was like, okay, let me go check. I checked the one right before the playhouse area, not at Home Sweet Home. I hate myself. I don't know why I didn't click it.
Pat, it's okay.
Actually, in that same area in Home Sweet Home, I keep hearing the smiling critters' laughter. I'm not sure if you heard that too in the game.
Oh yeah, right before you turn in to see Piggy, you hear laughter.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we were meant to see something there. I just hear it.
I don't know. I think it's kind of like a hallucination of like audio, or it could lead to, having the player kind of look around and see the Piggy cutout in relation to the smiling critters, which in turn goes into the laughter.
Oh, okay, because every time I hear it, I just keep looking around. I'm like, am I supposed to be seeing like a head poking out or something?
I think it's probably in relation to the Piggy cutout.
Yeah, that makes sense too. Okay, this one's gonna be kind of fun. So, how long did it take to create / design Miss Delight? Did she go through many other different designs or colors?
So, I was not the creator of Miss Delight, but I did get to see the first concepts that were created back in February, of last year. She had a face that looks similar to the Annabelle doll from the Conjuring series before it was changed a few times before the final. There was a lot of inspiration from old Barbie dolls and 1970s teacher Kitty dresses for the outfits that she would wear. There was the possibility of having her in a lower, how do I explain this? In a dress in plaid instead of polka dots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, was she always meant to be a teacher? I assume, yeah, right? Because the school was part of the play care.
Yeah. If there's a school, there has to be a teacher.
Yeah. I don't know why us theorists, we never put that together. Like, we all thought it was going to be like an animal, not an actual teacher. Myself saying it was going to be an owl, which I was wrong about. It makes sense. It made sense at the time, but
I mean, an owl would be honestly really cool. That would be a really awesome concept.
the owl teacher.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next question. Were we ever originally going to see Miss Delight's clean model in game, since her clean model is actually hidden in the chapter?
Oh, you do actually see her clean model in game. It's just, you only see it in the Hour of Joy VHS tape. I believe that was the only area they were ever going to originally have her clean model visible.
Ah, yeah, in the VHS tape.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, now this next question. What was your favorite part of chapter 3?
So I have two answers. In terms of producing chapter 3, I'd say being able to create the smiling critters was one of the best experiences of my life. I've had such a blast in creating it and would do it again 100 times over if I could. Now, in terms of playing the game, though, I would say the first nightmare area was the best part of chapter 3. The long, daunting hallways and pathways that make no sense of direction is genius, and it blew me away. Really hits when with the dream or weird core vibes that I just absolutely adore.
Yeah, I agree. That section was pretty damn creepy. I do love that. Especially since CatNap was just creeping around. I thought he was going to start chasing us most of the time, the first time I played it.
You thought wrong.
Yeah, he's just being a cat, just staring. And there were some some spots I missed while playing the first time that I didn't know they were there. Like CatNap peeking through like a little door crack. I didn't notice that the first time until I took a closer look.
I was the same way as well. I didn't notice that at first until I played it, I think the 6th time. I saw the crack and then I saw 2 little white eyes. I'm like, wait, what's that? And I got closer. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I never seen this.
I didn't hear it. Right there, I just heard the purring. I just didn't know he was there.
Yeah, and with that, I also heard the footsteps as well. And I was like, where is he?
I heard the footsteps. Little guy? Yeah, a little.
Do I have to come here?
It kind of work. Imagine if CatNap does make it to the project, that's like a freaking mechanic. We make noises like that, and then that attracts the monster. That'd be funny, actually.
Noted. Very much noted.
Or make that an emote.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Yeah, I would definitely do that to all the teammates. If we can finish the puzzle.
Or if there's a teammate you don't like, just go hey.
Oh my god. Somebody keeps following me on Project too. Somebody keeps trying to get into my lobbies, and every time they get in my lobby, they keep spamming the L emote. I don't know if they like me or they just recognize me. I can't tell.
Oh, I don't know.
They keep BMing me. I don't know why. What'd I do? I didn't do anything.
I've had my fair share of quite a few players doing that to me as well, and I'm like, don't do that.
Yeah, I'm already used to it. DBD taught me a lot. Okay, this next question. When you first played the chapter or watched it for the first time, which jump scares got you?
So, I was not able to play it myself due to my graphics card being weak with graphics. So I had to watch a gameplay footage of it that my coworker recorded first before it was optimized enough for me to play it 5 days before the public launch. And hands down, Miss Delight's jump scare is the winner. Whether it be watching a gameplay or playing it on my own now, it always gets me. It always just makes me yelp. It's incredibly sudden, and her scream and approach is very loud and fast. It just catches me so off guard.
I'm guilty of that too. Even when I'm expecting her to do it, it still gets me. Every time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if that's the sting sound effect in the beginning, or I don't know. It's just something about her jump scare that's very unique that gets you every time, even when you're staring directly at her.
For real? Oh, God.
The other jump scare that really got me, though, was CatNap in the counseling office. Remember, the one he just charges towards you? That one really, really got me.
Oh, yeah. That one, man. It's so good. Though, I do have to kind of admit, with that little jump scare scene, it kind of got nerfed whenever they were adding in shaders and whenever you had your mask on. You couldn't really see the full model of CatNap very well unless you had to take off your mask, which you can't. But he looks really intimidating when you don't have your mask on.
They nerfed him?
with all of the textures and lighting.
Yeah, because I imagine that jump scare would have been so much better if we could take off the mask. see his full body there.
Yeah.
Even that whole scene, just like the sudden realization that he's standing there and then the jump scare was just very, very good. It's like straight out of a movie. I applaud the person who was in direction of that.
I believe that was Malachi.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was such a good good jump scare. Oh man. That actually, my reaction to that jump scare made it into like the new mob ad. Not sure if you've seen it.
Mob ad.
They made a new advert for chapter 3, and they got influencers and like the reactions in there, and I was part of that. I was in it.
Oh my gosh! No way.
Which is very very cool.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, I'm very happy that reaction got in.
Yeah.
Okay. The next question. Ooh, okay. Did you work on anything else besides the smiling critters?
So, not really. I was working on licensing material after creating the Smiling Critters cartoon of mainly shirt designs and vector illustrations up until the release of Chapter 3. Everything was pretty much wrapped up in production and preparing for the golden path of Chapter 3, so there was nothing else I got to contribute, which I'm not complaining about. Creating the cartoon and being part of Chapter 3 was more than I could ask for. Oh, but I do have to mention this. There are a bit of Easter eggs that the modelers added into the game throughout, which was super nice of them to do. Some of the book props scattered about in Chapter 3 have my illustrations and my name on them. Specifically, the Halloween illustration of Poppy, the really big surreal floral illustration that I did of Mommy Longlegs, and one of the other unused concepts I did whenever I was first hired on. It's of the one of Huggy and Kissy together in a field of golden clouds.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Yeah!
Is that one public? Did you post that one?
I did not post it yet. I need to get confirmation from the devs to make sure that it's okay to be posted, which I will most likely get back on them very soon.
Yeah, that sounds really nice, actually. And yeah, we noticed your art in the game until some people started putting it out. I think it's some of them like in Home Sweet Home, I believe, right? Like in the bookshelf.
Home Sweet Home. They're in all 3 levels. All 3 levels have my books in there. They're just really hard to spot. But Home Sweet Home is very prominent, the more prominent area.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that place is so dark, I don't think I noticed anything. Okay, let's see. Did you ever get confused or frustrated in any section in Chapter 3?
Absolutely. Especially during the final fight before the patch came out. I think I spent about 5 to 7 hours trying and failing to get past the portion because it was so hard. But I just kept going and going and going. It was 3 a.m. in the morning when I finally stopped and called it quits.
The CatNap battle.
Yeah, the CatNap battle.
Honestly, looking back at it now, it's not hard.
Yeah, looking back on it now, it's not that hard. But whenever I was first playing it, good lord.
Especially since we were playing it like in the early days of Chapter 3 before the patches came in and there were like less instructions. We had to like figure it out the first couple of days of release. The way I play that, I put all the batteries in the middle and then I just put in whenever I needed to activate the smoke. I mentioned it to Sheep and he said like he didn't know we were able to do that. Like he played it so differently. And I was like, no. I'm like, no, I've been playing like that since day one. I don't know that was like if that was the way to do it, but that's how I do it.
I mean, usually with how I play it out is that I have 2 batteries in the back on the steamers where it's constantly blowing steam, and then have 2 batteries in the front of the computer, so that way whenever it requires a battery, all I have to do is just grab it and toss it in. So that way I can keep my focus on the two alleyways that are to my right and to my left in front of me.
Oh yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
I think everyone plays it differently.
Yeah, and then I actually found this out. If you start the game without putting any batteries in the steamers, there's a higher chance that CatNap will appear behind you in one of the two sectors. And then when you, in the final, like, I want to say 40 seconds, where you have, I want to say, like, 3 batteries in the console and it's still charging up, CatNap will mainly appear on the top and in the 2 sides at the front of you more consistently.
Oh, so it's kind of scripted.
Yeah.
Because I thought like the 2 back openings were like by random. Because I rarely get him in those 2 back sides. I rarely get him there.
Huh.
Yeah. So and even sometimes he doesn't even appear at all. Like after I get rid of him a few times, he just disappears. He doesn't come back.
In the back 2 areas?
In general. Like, It's weird. That happened to me like 3 times already. I'm not sure if I did it once on live, but like I remember that happening like a few times already. I'm not sure if that's intentional. Probably not. I think it's a bug, but I don't know if it's fixed now.
I do at times get runs in that final fight where CatNap just doesn't show up for like the next 10 to 15, maybe even 20 seconds. As well. It might be intentional, because as the final fight continues, he gets faster, and before the patch, he would show up in the last 10 seconds of the charge, and he would always get me.
Oh wait, he gets faster? I didn't know he gets faster every time.
Oh yeah, he gets faster.
Huh. He always seems the same speed as me. I'm like, yeah, this is not that hard. He just either he's consistently coming or he doesn't come at all. I didn't know that was like a mechanic.
Yeah, he gets faster.
Okay, the next question is, were there any different animals considered for the smiling critters before their final decision?
So, just a quick disclaimer, I was not the designer/creator of the critters themselves, as that was all on my coworker Avalon. But yes, there were some other animals included for the idea of all the critters. There were so many options, but it eventually settled to being a cat, dog, chicken, elephant, pony, fox, bear, pig, before it was changed again to the ones that we know today.
A fox. Interesting. And were there like any names? Like were the names all decided already, or?
Oh no. Names are, I think, I want to say the last thing that we kind of like go through, because we have to go through like legal.
Yeah.
To make sure that it's okay and approved.
Taken.
Yeah.
Because some of them are just like mentioned twice, like Piggy, or like Bubba Fence. They're like repeated names. I can imagine you guys kind of struggling with the names because of the trademark stuff.
Yeah. CatNap was definitely a big one.
Oh, yeah?
Because originally it was like going to be called Nappy Cat, which was a diaper.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nappy Cat. I never heard of that.
So, for the longest time before we had the name approved, we would always call CatNap Nappy.
Nappy.
It's like, oh hey, do we need assets for Nappy? Or like, oh hey, do you have the textures for Nappy? It was so great.
Oh yeah, I think CatNap was already like a book name. I think.
Oh really?
I think it is, because I saw a post on Twitter, somebody saying, "Oh look, it's CatNap," and it's like a black cat, on a cover of a book that says CatNap on it.
Huh? I did not know that.
Not sure if that came after or.
Oh, I don't know.
But yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a book with the same name.
That is a book.
Whoopsies.
It's him. He's real.
We all know the true CatNap, alright? Okay. Oh, and the final question. Do you think Chapter 4 will be just as scary or even more scarier than Chapter 3?
Ooh, I can't really say much about Chapter 4 right now. But it will definitely be an interesting take for a new direction in store after the release of Chapter 3. That's all I can really say about it for right now. So you will have to wait and see what we have in store for it when it comes out.
Yes, and I think Zach himself said, I think like in an interview, that Chapter 4 will contain a protagonist that they've been wanting to do for a while, him and Seth.
Yes!
It's kind of weird too because like Chapter 4 now is kind of like more mysterious because we have nothing to go off of. Like because Chapter 3 didn't have like an ending like how Chapter 2 did, where it said daycare at the end, and Chapter 3 nothing.
Yep. You just go down an elevator and it just turns black and you roll the credits.
Yeah, it's very mysterious. And that is all the questions I had. I just want to thank you again for taking some time off your day to join us. It was really fun, and I got to learn more interesting facts that I didn't know. Always a good time.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I've always wanted to do podcasts like this, so this is a really big step up for me. Thank you so much for having me on board for this and for letting me be a part of this.
Of course, always a pleasure, Amber. And hopefully we get to see more from you for Chapter 4.